Hi everyone, I'm j.f.penn from thecreativepenn.com, and today I'm talking about a brilliant book. It's called The Click Moment, Seizing Opportunity in an Unpredictable World by Franz Johansson. And I love this book so much, I'm recommending it to loads of people, so I thought I'd talk a bit about what it did for me. So first up, you probably know the 10,000 hour rule, which kind of says that mastery comes about after you've done around 10,000 hours of practice. And what this book says is that that's all very well when there are rules. So for tennis and chess and things where you can actually master something over time. And he talks about Serena and Venus Williams, you know, being trained from age 3 to become tennis champions, and thus they do. But where there are no rules, this 10,000 hour rule just doesn't work, and he uses it in, for example, business startups, but also in fiction. And he uses some great examples, first up, of Stephenie Meyer, whose Twilight obviously took over the world, and she's multi-million-dollar author and sold all these books, and she hadn't really spent 10,000 hours. She'd never written about vampires, she hadn't written a serious book before, well, I say serious, but Twilight took off, E.L. James took off, and there wasn't this 10,000 hour mastery in effect. So first up, he kind of says, forget the rules, embrace the random. Sometimes these things just happen, and the whole book is about how do we get these things to happen more often. The other thing I really liked was this quote, your chances of success drop when you analyse the market and try to predict what you need to do to succeed. Now, I'm utterly guilty of this. I'm always trying to analyse, how do I sell more books? How has this person written this book? How can I do this in order to be better, to do this? I'm a total action kind of freak. I'm trying to do things all the time. And he basically says, look, our brains are designed to perceive patterns instead of randomness. So this book took off because of random things, and this book took off because of that. You can't actually find something that's going to work every time. And he uses the example of Stephen King, who decided to write as Richard Branson and basically couldn't get anywhere. Same author, same type of books, but no big name, and he just didn't take off until it became known that he was Stephen King. So that's a really good lesson for us. The second big point is to make more bets and minimize the size of them. Now, I really like this, and one of his examples is Picasso, who created between 50 and 100,000 pieces of art in his lifetime, which is apparently 2 to 4 a day over his sort of prolific life. So he was one of the most prolific artists. Now, some of those works of art we all know by name, Guernica, for example, amazing work of art. And yet it was random as to what took off and what sort of lay in a storeroom unbought. But the point is, he made more crap than everyone else, and he made more masterpieces than everybody else. And he just didn't stop creating. And so his output gave him the edge to be successful. There's another interesting thing he writes, that in academia, the chances of writing a groundbreaking paper that everybody quotes are directly correlated to the number of papers written. So you get more chances with more rolls of the dice, which is great. And I'm going to come to how we can use these things in a minute. The final thing is obviously create more click moments, and that really planned situations with expected outcomes don't generate the chaos and randomness necessary to discover unique ideas. So we have to put ourselves in places where we can, where things will spark that we hadn't expected. Take our eye off the ball, stop doing everything according to a plan. And again, you should see my diary, my schedule to the Americans. I'm a very big planner, and I definitely need to open more time up for randomness. So I found all of those things quite challenging to someone like myself, who can be quite controlling over my own time and all of that type of thing. Look for rules in the world. I'm the eldest of 5 children, and so I've always been like that eldest child, very responsible, do what you're told, go to university, pay your taxes, do everything right. So this kind of idea of everything being random is not something that sits easily with me, but I totally get it, and this book really helps if you're that type of person too. So putting these things into practice as an author. First up, there are no rules in fiction. and I will absolutely continue to share my journey. I will absolutely continue to try and break down what people are doing and why they're successful. But in my own fiction, I'm going to experiment more. I'm going to do other things. I'm going to try and be a bit braver. And not censor myself so much, and I'm going to, stop trying to find rules in the chaos, I guess, and try and embrace the random. So that's kind of the first thing. The second thing is spreading the bets, which I think is fantastic. I'm going to be focusing more on writing novellas in the next year, into 2013. And the novella business model is great because you write between 20,000-30,000 words for a little book and put it out as an ebook. And because they're shorter, you can write more of them, so you can spread your bets. And you can write them in different areas and see what takes off, which is fantastic, right? I mean, it's amazing. So it means more output in a short of time. It means the story arc is easier. And for someone like me who does loads of research, it will be easier to contain my researching if I have a shorter book with less plotting and all the complicated things I like to put in. I'll still do full-length books, but I wanted to also do novellas. And also blending novellas with full-length books means it won't be 9 months in between my books, hopefully. The inspiration for the novella thing has been building a while. If you listen to the self-publishing podcast, which is fantastic, with Johnny, Sean and Dave, they talk a lot about this. Hugh Howey with Wool and his other novellas are, really people who stand out to me. And I feel that this book, The Click Moment, Spreading the Bets, has really pushed me. And novellas are going to be out there in 2013. And obviously, thirdly, I am going to create more time in my schedule for click moments. And, we all read the same blogs, the same newspapers, we look we read what we like, and I need to start challenging myself more. So I urge you to read The Click Moment by Franz Johansson. Fantastic book, and will hopefully really make you think. It certainly made me think. And I'm j.f.penn from thecreativepenn.com.